It's a beautiful day outside. Could be midsummer, but right here inside the Edge Ice Arena, it's the start of the home calendar for the Roosevelt University Lakers, taking on the University of Illinois Fighting Illini. Hello, everyone. Andy Petzinger here up atop at the press box at the Edge Ice Arena. Happy to bring you along on the broadcast. This is the home opener for the Roosevelt Lakers, and last night they took on U of I at the Illini Ice Arena and had one heck of a hockey game, won it by a score of 3-2. Let's quickly check out those highlights as we take place in the second period. Roosevelt up 1-0. Nice tic-tac-toe play for U of I. They tie it up at 1. And that's how the second period would end. Going into the third period, nice cut to the middle there and a wrist shot up over the glove of Harbor Castle to give U of I a 2-1 lead. But that lead would not last long at all. Right off the next faceoff, Lakers come back the other way and will tie this thing up by a score of 2-2 and send it into overtime. The goal there was Mike Abrego. His first of the year and first in a Roosevelt sweater. In overtime, the goaltenders shined. As you see Harbor Castle here stretching out with his right pad, able to get a good stop, challenging. A couple seconds later, he gets a breakaway attempt and a nice back check here by Mikey Salmona as well, not allowing a clean shot. The Lakers had a couple chances of their own. So we see a nice long breakout pass here and a breakaway chance back the other way, and a good kick save made by Nolan Woodring. In the shootout, we were scoreless throughout 2 rounds, and then taken over was Mike Abrego with a goal already in the game. Slow and steady right down the middle, right through the wickets of Nolan Woodring to give Roosevelt a 1-goal lead. They would need just a save from Harbor Castle as he took on David Roz, who is a Roosevelt killer. Had 2 goals in 4 games last year and get a nice blocker save. Celebration commences. Roosevelt goes 2-0 on the season. As you take a quick look at the final score from yesterday, outshot by a total of 41-27. It was a very, very good hockey game for the Lakers. They played extremely well and are excited for the opening of this hockey game. And there's a lot of new faces here for the Lakers. You take a quick look at all the rookies coming in here. Lucas Kurowski, Blake Martino, Luke Watterson, Mike Abrego, Bowen Lopez, Jack Quigley, Ryan O'Connell, and Gabe Kruger. Blake Martino in his very first game got a hat trick against Saginaw Valley. Taking a look now at the Illini and what they bring to the table. So there we are. Fighting Illini, Carson Mitchell, Alexander Mativ, Anthony Verassi, all were Roosevelt killers. Good thing for Roosevelt this weekend, Alexander Mativ is out with an injury, but Carson Mitchell is still playing. Your starting goaltenders for the day, Nolan Woodring, 5 games played, 4-0-1 record with a .236 and a .923. He is a very good goaltender, very tall in net, takes up a lot of space. Roosevelt did a nice job getting him moving yesterday. And going up top, Harbor Castle will be in net for the Lakers. He is 2-0 in the season with a sparkling .192 and a .940 save percentage. We're going to send it on downstairs for a quick announcement.
Godspeed, Dr. King. You will be missed. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the national.
All right, we are just about ready to go for puck drop here at the edge. That moment of silence there was for the father of Jack Quigley, who sadly had passed away this offseason. A great speech made there. There was a little moment before the game where his dad's hat and sweater, both Winnipeg Jets related, are now seated behind Harbor Castle, the Lakers goaltender, in the seat that Mr. Quigley would have sat at. So a great moment there from the Roosevelt Lakers. All right, let's get to your starting lineups for the University of Illinois Fighting Illini. In goal, as we said, is Nolan Woodring. On the back end is going to be Kyle Alpe, along with Zachary Rupich. And up front, Carson Mitchell, Anthony Barassi, and David Raz. For your Roosevelt University Lakers, in net, Harbor Castle. In front of him, Mikey Solomona, along with Mark Abrego. And up front, Kohler Crozier, Danny Bazach, and Kevin Euler, as we get our first stoppage play with 19:52 left to go in the first. We get an offsides call. That win for Roosevelt yesterday, the 3-2 shootout win, was the first victory that they've had against the Fighting Illini. As we get yet another whistle, we'll finish this game around midnight Pacific time. But that was the first victory for the Lakers against the Illini since before COVID. They had not beaten the Illini in quite some time, so that is certainly the monkey off the back for the Roosevelt Lakers. Draw's going to be to the left here of Woodring. Zach on the draw. Carson Mitchell steps in. Gets one back out to the blue line. Euler's there. He'll send it in behind for Bzach. Mikey Solomona, in his third year with Roosevelt, pinching down low to keep that play alive. He'll send it to Bzach in behind. And we're going to get a whistle stopping play. The net is off its moorings. So 19:27 left to play in the first period. We'll get our third whistle, not even a minute into this hockey game. Good pressure, though, by the Lakers. Good first shift there by that starting line. Hemming the Illini in their zone a little bit and not allowing them a clean exit out, trying to tire them out early. And talking with Coach Billy Carr before the game, he had mentioned that the start for the Illini is probably going to be pretty hot. The first 10 minutes are going to bring it full force. They had adjusted their lineup card a little bit to kind of spread out their wealth. They kind of front-loaded yesterday, and today they're trying to spread it out a little bit to get some even lines. It's coming through the neutral zone. Ryan O'Connell will spin and throw that one across the ice. Barreling into the boards they go. Picked up by U of I and out to center ice. Gregory Ettingen gets stood up there at the blue line. Good poke check by Drake Adams. Now taken by U of I and dumped in on net. Castle will get his first touch, and we'll get a whistle. With 18:40 left to go, we get a little pushing and shoving, making sure that nobody gets too close to the goaltender. Draw to the right of Castle, gets wrapped around in behind. Picked up by Ryan O'Connell. Up the wall it goes. Held in by U of I. They battle right in front of the Lakers bench and forced out to center ice there by Mike Abrego, and he'll send it in deep. Woodring will backhand this one around the wall and out to center ice. Taken now by Bowen Lopez of the Lakers. Euler in the neutral zone will escape one check there at the blue line, but then lose control of the puck. Carried on. Pass out to the blue line. Long shot there by Lozenak. Didn't look like he got all of it. Was sent wide. Clearing attempt by U of I. Finally gets pushed out to center ice. Getting in the lane there. The pass was Joey Coglianese, but still gets to U of I sticks. A wrist shot goes right up off the glass. Held in at the Laker blue line. Taken here. Kevin Euler will settle things down. He'll hit Lozenak in behind. He'll come up the wall, and it gets chipped out to the neutral zone. Bouncing around, finds the stick here of Jacob Rosansky. He'll leave it over to Louis Iandoli, whose wrist shot is easily seen there by Harbor Castle. And he'll hang on with 17:21 left to go in the first. Talking to the coaching staff before the game about their 2 wins so far this year. And just in a joking manner, they were saying that this is halfway to our total from last season. Last year, it was a bit of a struggle for the Roosevelt Lakers. And they're having a really good season this year. They've got a lot of new players, as we had mentioned. This is the largest roster that the Lakers have had since the 2020-2021 season. So more depth, a lot of quality players, as well as a long wrist shot from the blue line gets soaked up by Castle. And he'll hang on with 16:45 to play. But yeah, he was talking about that more so in a joking manner. But at the end of the day, you know, he said, we're going to lose some games here, but it's awesome to see a start like this and start to get that belief factor in your locker room right away. If you start losing games right off the bat, could take a little bit, especially with a younger team. As look out, that one goes right on top of the net. That looked like it was a Roosevelt stick. Might have been Mikey Salmona who knocked that on top of his own net. And we nearly had a problem there for Roosevelt, but luckily it didn't bounce any further. Face-off is going to go to the left-hand side of Castle as we're getting a bit of a push here from the Illini. Captain Tanner Hallett, his cross-ice pass to Flex was intended for Crozier. Crozier will go barreling after it. Wrapped around the wall to the far side. There's Hallett. His wrist shot from the blue line deflected. He's able to keep it alive one more time and gets sent into the corner. Picked up by Zach Rupich. He'll send it around the wall. Big hit there by Kohler Crozier. Through the shoulder. Right into the one of the Illini players. And we'll get a whistle stopping play. I believe we're going to get an offside call here on the Illini. Kohler Crozier doing exactly what he's intended to do with that big frame. Through the shoulder and an open ice hit. It's going to give the Illini something to think about in the future when they see Kohler Crozier coming down the wall. Tanner Hallett keeps a clearing attempt in right out front. They score! Bounce right to Jack Quigley. How fitting is that? Jack Quigley with his dad's spirit in the stands gives the Lakers a 1-0 lead. Oh, I'll tell you what. I wish I could have made a bet that Jack Quigley would have scored today, because that only made too much sense. He's got a big conglomerate in the stands with him as well. Awesome stuff for Jack Quigley. He gets the Lakers on the board, not even 5 minutes into the first period. Bodies are flying in the Roosevelt end. Picked up by Hallett. Send it through the neutral zone, gets deflected into the corner. There's Quigley there again. He takes a hit, overskates the puck, and now gets sent out through the neutral zone. Picked up here by Carson Mitchell going cross ice. David Ettingen in behind. Mitchell is there. Was squeezed off the puck, and Lozenak will come up the wall and out to center ice. Here's Abrego, 1-on-2. Will shield the puck on the backhand. Drag it below the goal line. Gets crunched in behind the net. Sent up the wall now. Held in there by Bzach. His wrister did not make it through. Comes right back to him in the slot. Danny Bzach shooting one, and a good stop made by Nolan Woodring as he took that one right in the gut. There was some net front presence. No screen, however. Face-off going to go to the left. We get a face-off win by the Illini. Chipped out to the neutral zone. Scooting out there is Babich. He'll drop it off for Ettingen. His wrist shot. That's Greg Ettingen. And a blocker save by Harbor Castle in his third year with Roosevelt. They battle for it along the wall. Picked up by Greg Ettingen. Thrown out towards the in the middle of the ice. Picked up there by Zach. He'll send it out to Abrego. Mike Abrego holding on. Going back for Lucas Kurowski, who was the late man, but was just ahead or just behind his stick, I should say. Now Illini trying to come back the other way. Getting thrown down is Mark Abrego, the brother of Mike. And now the Lakers will get it out of trouble and send it out to the neutral zone. Both teams getting some line changes here. Mark Abrego looking up ahead for Gabe Kruger. Was just underneath his stick. Now Zach Rupich in his own end. Takes a hit from Pickerel. And the Illini now out to the neutral zone. Squeezing by there is Thatcher Beecham. Couldn't get as far as the blue line before he had that taken away. Now the Illini back in their own end will send it right back out to the neutral zone, where Mark Abrego sends it right back in. We volley back and forth. Goes off the skate of one of the Lakers. The Illini will have to try once more. Bit of a frustrating start here for the Illini. The Lakers very hard on their forecheck, not allowing much space, or much room, I should say, in the neutral zone to really do much. And right there, they collapse in the offensive or the defensive zone. take time and space away and take the puck away and come out to center ice. Here's Bizach. He had two men all over him, coughed up the puck, and it's Rosansky back the other way. His backhand feed comes back to him. Taken now by Scavone. His turnaround shot was deflected off of his skate. Bizach back the other way. He's got Euler with him. Bizach at the blue line, lost the handle of it. Clearing attempt was held in by Crozier. Nice job keeping the line for Bizach. Back to Crozier, walking in, shooting one. Oh, and he just missed the upper corner. Wrapped around the wall at the blue line. Ryan O'Connell will keep it in. For Kohler, Crozier in behind, shielding the puck away from a check. Had it squeeze away from him. And the Illini will chop it out to center ice and get a line change. Backhanded out to the neutral zone, taken by David Raz. He'll dump it in. Gets chipped off the wall and out to center ice by the Lakers. Raz able to cut through the neutral zone now, trying to get around another check of O'Connell. He does. Big save made. Rebound laid loose for just a moment. Picked up now by the Lakers, and they're 3-on-2 back the other way. Blake Martino will drop it off. There's a wrist shot. It looked like a shot pass instead, coming from Quigley. He had Martino going to the net, but couldn't get the puck through. Held in the offensive zone. The Lakers will poke it free. It's Mike Abrego protecting the puck. Stick goes flying up into the air. Gets back to Abrego, trying to stick handle through a couple of players. Did not work, and the Illini will take it back and get as far as the neutral zone. Good back check there from the Lakers. Picked up by Quigley. He got squeezed off there. And the Lakers will send it right back in and get a line change. Out to center ice go the Illini. Taken away by Mike Abrego. He comes in over the line and just off sides with 10-11 left to go in the first. It's 1-0 Lakers on a goal by Jack Quigley. Honestly, just incredible stuff that Jack Quigley is able to score today. The Illini win the face-off. Cross-ice pass taken away in the neutral zone. Boy, the Lakers have been staunch in the neutral zone. And now on the forecheck, mucking things up here for the Illini. Taken now by Babbage. He could get only as far as the blue line, and now taken back the other way by the Lakers. Long wrist shot gets blocked. They battle for it along the wall. Gets sent around to the far side where Babbage will have it. And he'll send it out to center ice where Lozenak controls. He'll hit the wall and it bounces away from a check, goes all the way down, and we will get an icing call with 9:18 left to go in the first. Faceoff comes out to the blue line. Hubish able to keep it in. Now walking in and shooting one is Mitchell. Boy, he had all day and next week to walk in and rip that puck. And Billy Carr is talking to his players right now and saying, you got to attack him and not give him all that space. That is one of the most dangerous players on U of I. He's got 4 goals and 1 assist to start out the season already. And he just had a full runway to come in and wire one. Here's Mitchell again with it in the corner. He battles with Salmona, 2-on-2. Bizach is in there, along with Raz. Finally pulled out of there by Danny Vzak. And out to center ice they go. Kohler Crozier through the neutral zone. He'll send it towards the goal. Played along by Woodring. Shot on net was deflected on goal, and Woodring will grab that and hang on. Since that goal from Jack Quigley, the offensive chances for the Lakers have somewhat gone by the wayside. Most of the shots coming from well outside and with no traffic in front. Certainly something that they're going to want to start implementing in their game once more. But as Coach Carr mentioned before the game, they wanted to survive, quote unquote, using my own terminology there, survive the first 10 minutes for the Illini, who were certainly going to be playing with a bit of a fire in their belly. And they did just that. They're up 1-0. And the Illini end, they'll go D to D, and it's sent out to the neutral zone. Bouncing around, Zach Hubish is there. Hubish will send it up ahead, taken there by Ryan O'Connell. He'll go up the wall, but picked up and sent to Beecham. He shoots, he scores! Thatcher Beecham on a failed clearing attempt. The puck bounced right to him. And he was able to pick up that puck right in the slot and wire run up over the glove of Harbor Castle. And Beecham gets his first goal of the year. He had one all last season. Picks up his first of the year today. Picked up by the Illini. They'll dump it in. After it there is Ryan O'Connell in his own end. Hallett had it, lost it. A stuff attempt was stopped there by Castle. Rebound pass out in front. Knocked away by the stick of Castle, and O'Connell will start back the other way. Stripped of it at the blue line. There was Kurowski, and the Illini now turning the heat on. At the blue line, a wrist shot. Tried to get it through to the net, but it was blocked. Now in the corner. Pass out to the circle. They score! A wrist shot there from Riley Babbage. And 2 goals in under a minute for the Illini. And they now lead it 2-1. I mentioned a good push from the Illini, and they have jumped all over the Lakers here in the last 2 minutes and made it count. 7:11 left to go in the first period. And the Illini have taken the lead away from the Lakers. You'll remember yesterday, the Illini took a 2-1 lead in the third period, and just 20 seconds later, the Lakers would come down and tie up the game. So this team is not going to be easily pushed around. They're not going to crawl into their shell by any means, but certainly need to find another level here and have a good response shift. You always hear a shift after a goal is going to be the most important shift of the game. We get a battle here in front of the Roosevelt bench, pulled out by the Lakers. Carried on now by Bowen Lopez in behind his own net. Lopez will come up the wall for Euler. He'll hit Lozenak through the neutral zone, try to drop it off for Crozier, but he was well covered. And now Bazach in the corner. Had it roll off the end of his stick and carried on by Greg Ettingen in his own end. Can't clear it out. Euler will keep it in for Lozenak. He'll walk in and shoot. That's blocked away by Woodring. Pass out in front for Euler. He'll drop it off to the blue line. Long wrist shot got deflected just wide. It looks like that's Martino in front of the net with a good stick. So good answer shift here from the Lakers as this puck goes into the Illini bench with 6:05 left to go in the first. Couple good shot attempts. Bodies go into the net. Redirections. They keep doing that, they'll get rewarded.
Why are you crossing?
Picked up by the Illini in their own end. They'll send it out to the neutral zone. Into Lakers territory. It's Abrego. Mark Abrego, that is. Mishandled it as he was crossing through the neutral zone, and the Illini will send it right back. Icing waved off. Picked up now in his own end. Zach Rupich will go far side for Mitchell, was well out of his reach, and sent back in by Mark Abrego. Lakers will set up in their forecheck. Illini out to the neutral zone. Able to escape one check there. Zach Rupich got to the tops of the circles, lost it. Now Mitchell's wrist shot. Good save there by Castle. And he'll hang on. There was a bit of a screen, and Castle was able to control that rebound. 5:09 to play in the first period. 2-1. Fighting Illini. Draw going to go off to the left of Harbor Castle. Talked about the Lakers. Good stop there from Castle on a wrist shot. That was up near his ears. Talked about the Lakers winning half of their games in the first two of the season. Winning half of their games from last year in the first two games of this season. Look out! Puck bounced right off the stanchion and nearly went on goal, but Castle was quick to the post there. Harbor Castle had all of 2 wins last year. I said it was a rough year for the Lakers just in general. And Castle played in just about every single game for Roosevelt. And he has now tied his win total from last year in the first 2 games of this season. They battle for it in the Illini zone. Gets bounced out to center ice and all the way down. Castle has to play it as icing is waved off. Here's O'Connell. He'll go far side for Lucas Kurowski. Dropped off. Mike Abrego's wrist shot is gloved down and held. 4:12 left to play in period number 1. Illini hold on to a 2-1 lead. It was probably a minute and a half or 2 minute span where the Illini really pushed on the Lakers and hemmed them in their own zone, and they scored on both of those opportunities. Otherwise, the Lakers have done a really nice job, not so much from an offensive perspective, hemming the Illini in their zone, but more so frustrating them through the neutral zone. So if they're able to get back to that, the offensive chances are going to come pretty fast for the Lakers as it goes out to the blue line. D-to-D they go, comes back to Lozanak. He'll send it in behind. Bizacha behind. Danny will go out to the blue line. Long wrist shot, never made it through. Good block getting in the way of that. Riley Babich, who has got the game-leading goal so far for the Illini. Now a turnover leads to Bizacha back the other way. He's got Euler with him. Bizacha looking for Euler. He was too well covered, and that pass was taken away. And the Illini over the blue line now. Riley Babich. Good battle there with him and Mark Abrego. Comes out towards the slot. Held in at the blue line by Alpe. Now Babich in front. One-time shot, never made it through. The rebound, diving across his Castle. Go to the opposite side now, and a great block there by Crozier. Castle now finally getting to his feet. And we get a whistle stopping play. I believe the net has been knocked off its mooring, but a lot of players diving around trying to get their body in front of the puck and try to keep that out of their own net. Great selling out there by the Lakers. And it is still just a 2-1 Illini lead. Off the draw, picked up in a wrist shot from Lulinski. Sails wide. He's got it again in behind the goal line. Curls away from Bizacha. Bizacha, nice job with the stick lift, able to push that out to center ice. And back the other way, it's Kevin Euler trying to get around a check of Zach Rupich, but Rupich able to stand him up and not allow him to get a clean entry into the zone. Solomona, lead pass was just off the stick of Drake Adams. Otherwise, he would have had a breakaway from the blue line in. And instead, it is an icing on the Lakers. No line change for Roosevelt. Draw one to the corner. Mark Abrego there will flip it through the neutral zone and out. That allow a couple players to get a line change. On the far side, Drake Adams overskates the puck. It's thrown out to the blue line. Mark Abrego able to keep that in for a brief moment, but it's a 2-on-1 now for the Illini. Pass across for Edinson. Big save made by Castle. That was David Ettingen, who was a little in tight. Couldn't do much with that shot. Threw it on net, and Castle was able to make a save, and now we're going to get a penalty here on the Lakers. At 2:05 left to play in the first. Going to be Adams going to the box. And the Lakers are going to go to the penalty kill for the first time today. They are 7 for 8 on the season, 87.5%. Their only goal given up was last night. That was a goal to David Ettingen. Nice tic-tac-toe play. Meanwhile, for the Illini, we'll get their stats in just a minute as we get a little bit of a battle in the corner. Cleared out by the Lakers. They are at 22.6% on the power play. They are 7 for 31 overall. And remember, the Illini have played in 3 more games than the Lakers. There's a pass out to Greg Ettingen. His wrist shot. That one deflects off the glass. Held in at the blue line. That pass deflects off of the skate of Babbage. Back to Raz up top. He'll hit Mitchell to Raz. To Greg Ettingen. To Mitchell as one-timer. Good job by Castle going post to post. Got a pad on it, and it's cleared out of there by the Lakers. 1:10 left to play on the power play. Illini come back into the zone. Pass out to the blue line. Good job by Bazach. Able to get a stick on it. Couldn't clear. Ettingen able to go back to Raz at the point. He'll hit Mitchell walking in, shooting one off the crossbar, and in they score. Greg Ettingen. Raz was able to pull a couple of Lakers over towards him, and Greg Ettingen was able to walk in and wire one. Or excuse me, that was Mitchell, pardon me. Was able to walk in and wire one up over the glove of Harbor Castle, and it's 3-1 in favor of the Illini. Then back into the Illini zone and wrapped all the way around and out. This one will go all the way down, and we will get an icing call with 35.5 left to play in period number 1. Face off. Going to the right-hand side of Woodring. Draw control by Abrego. Sent around by the Illini and out to center ice. It goes Jacob Rosanski. Overskates there at the blue line. It's a product there of a lot of snow on the ice at the end of a period. Finally bounces free. Walking in, and a wrist shot goes just wide of the far post. That was Beecham again, letting one go. So a couple times here in this first period that the Illini have had a chance to come right down the middle of the ice and let one rip. And the Lakers find themselves down 3-1 as the period comes to a close. So we are done with one. We still get a little bit of rough stuff here in the Illini end. As mixing it up is Mike Abrego. Looks like he's in there with Zach Rupich. They get separated. As you can hear by the song being played, got to keep them separated. But that is how our period will end. It's a 3-1 lead for the Illini, where the Lakers, I would say, for about 15 minutes, really held the pace of play. And I don't know if it was just taking their foot off the gas pedal or the Illini just decided to wake up. After the Illini scored, there was a little bit of a back and forth. And the Illini just turned it on there in the final, I would say, 2-3 minutes of that period. Started out with a goal for the Lakers. Jack Quigley at the 15:46 mark was able to score to start the game off in an emotional goal. As we had a moment of silence there for his dad before the game. Jack Quigley pointed towards the sky and skated towards where his dad's hat and sweater are now sitting in the stands. The Illini would answer back with under 10 minutes to go on a goal by Thatcher Beecham on just kind of a broken play. The Lakers couldn't clear it, and Beecham was able to go up high on Castle and tie it up at 1. Under a minute later, Riley Babich would also have a little bit too much time to walk in and wire one, and he also beat Castle to give the Illini a 2-1 lead. And on the power play, with 48 seconds left to go in the period, Carson Mitchell was able to walk right in after David Raz did a nice job of sucking a couple of Lakers to him. Left Mitchell wide open. He walked in and wired one to make it 3-1, and that is where we stand. We'll be back with the second period of play right after this. You're watching Roosevelt Lakers hockey.